You hear me mention time and time again about experiences, and experiences trump luxury, and experiences are the future, and it's part of the next gen hospitality program that we have in all of our Stomp portfolio. And the question is, when I say experiences trump luxury and experiences are everything, what exactly does that mean? Well, let's dive in. So my belief is, going forward, resorts and hospitality and hotels and so on, the people that are actually paying attention are going to be very defined by who they're trying to attract, who their audience is, and delighting them in that very specific regard. So in the past, people would create a big hotel, call it 100 rooms or 400 rooms, it doesn't really matter, in an area that a lot of people would come, and they would open their doors to anybody who could afford to pay that room rate. So whether it was $100 or $500, literally anybody could just book and they would all come. And what that led to is hospitality as we know it, which is like, you have a nice hotel and you have a nice hotel room and there's an amenity package, but there's no community, right? So in fact, we've kind of learned, when you get in the elevator, you mind your own business, or maybe you say it's nice weather, you make small talk, but you don't really drill down. When you're sitting at the pool, you've got your Chase Lounge, you're keeping your blinders on and you're not looking at who's to the left of you or to the right of you. And for heaven's sake, you're definitely not speaking with them or engaging with them, right? Like, everyone's on their own vacation, just sharing the same resort or the same community. And I think going forward, what I'm drawn to, and many of the people that I know and what we're building, are people that are coming to a very specific location for a very specific activity and a very specific experience. And so I want to share with you an example of what I mean. For my 50th birthday, many of you know, a bucket list item of mine was to go heli skiing in British Columbia. And it was impossible to get to. It took me like 2 days. From Jackson Hole, I flew to San Francisco, from San Francisco to Vancouver, from Vancouver to Kelowna. I stayed overnight in Kelowna in a Sheraton 4 Points. The next morning, I got on a bus for 2 hours to a ferry, back on the bus to the base of the helicopter, and then we helicoptered into the lodge. And so it literally took 2 days to get there. And I thought, well, it's a bucket list item, and so I made the trek, and it'll be kind of cool, and I can't wait to go skiing. Little did I know that every other person, and I'm talking about 58 other people that were staying at this lodge, did the exact same thing, only I was the only one who had never been there before. Every other person had been there multiple times. Many of them had streaks dating in the 10, 15, and plus years, that they go back every single year, like salmon, going back for that exact same experience. And more importantly, the community. They've developed friendships, they've developed relationships, they're friendly with the team and the staff and the people that work there, but they're also friendly with the people that come every single year at the same time, and they've developed these relationships. And so that's the experience. It's not just heli skiing, it's living with people that are equally excited and like do anything for the best powder and the best skiing and the best access. And I've developed relationships. We have people working at Stomp that I met at that heli skiing. Our chief operating officer ran heli skiing operations before running the Caldera House and now running our Stomp portfolio. So these sorts of relationships go deep and can really change the quality of your life, and that's going to be more important going forward. So let's drill down on several things about next-gen hospitality and experiences and what I mean by that. So the first thing that's really important is to design for the experience that you want to create, right? It's not as simple as like, well, let's just take this ordinary hotel in this ordinary location and we're just going to suddenly say it's experience-based. It has to be in the right location, it has to provide the right access, you have to have the right draw, there has to be a reason, like a magnet that people are pulling to go there. So in the example that I gave, everybody wanted this steep and deep and glades powder. There's plenty of places to go skiing, heli skiing in British Columbia, but what makes the place that I went to, CMH Heli Galena, particularly desirable is it's one of the steepest and the most gladed. And so for expert skiers that want something more than just like a big open bowl, it's the only place you can get it. So everybody who's there is an extreme avid skier. Likewise, here at Edge Camp, and I'm sitting here in the Outer Banks right now, we're doing the same thing for kiteboarders. This is one of the best places in the world for people to go kiting. It's a unique set of circumstances. This is where the Wright brothers, learned to fly. And so aviation was invented here. Why? Because it's windy, and it's windy consistently, and it's often windy, and you can go on these downwinders and go miles and miles in one direction. Like, imagine a ski run where you go for like 10 miles. Well, you can do that here in the Outer Banks, and you can't do that in very many other places. So the experience that we're creating is all around avid kiteboarders people that travel and spend great amount of money to come kiting here, we will be providing something that they can't get anywhere else, and we're thrilled about it, as are they. So in short, you have to design for it. And then in that design, we're taking a look at the architecture, who's coming, what do they like? We want to make it something that they want to be a part of. It can't be just like, well, we put up this traditional house and you have access to it. We're creating something that we're calling modern coastal. It's got flat roofs and cedar siding shingles, and it's very cool in the design that you can see here. It's nautical, it's blue, it's white, it's open, it's lots of views and windows, and we're showing people like what they're here for. So from all of our windows, you see people kiting by, and it's remarkable. It's absolutely beautiful. So you have to design for the experience is a great place to start. The second thing is like immersion. People have to be able to go deep. It's not just like a passing thing where like, oh, it's nice design and it's got great access. You want them to be able to go deep into their desired sport or hobby or activity. You have to provide programming or the ability for them to improve, get training, enhance their experience, whatever it is. But you not only want to design for it to be an experience, you want it to be an immersive experience, something deeper and more profound that they can't get anywhere else. And so that often requires you to be an expert yourself or partner with experts, whether it's in the form of education or amenities that you offer, but it's got to be something that is deeper and better and more lasting and more rewarding than they can get at your counterpart. The third thing is that it's very personal and curated. So I like to say when we have people coming to our properties, we know who's coming, what they're coming to do, what success looks like, what they would like to avoid, and that's basically all proactive hospitality as opposed to traditional hospitality, which is reactive. In traditional hospitality, there's a team of people standing by, waiting, labor and cost, waiting for there to be a problem and the phone to ring and for them to be able to solve it. And in our particular case, it's the exact opposite. We do this proactively. We onboard you. We know that Richard's coming with his family. This is what success looks like. And we ask intelligent questions to curate a very customized experience. Who's going to be emptying the dishwashers? Who's taking out the trash? Who's cooking? And it could be fine that some people come and they love to cook and they want total privacy and we leave them entirely alone. That's what success looks like for them. But there's other people who say, well, we enjoy cooking, but not every night, and there's not a ton of options. So we'd love to have a chef maybe 2 nights, and then we work with them about what nights and what chefs and what that experience looks like. And in fact, we offer things like seafood boils and clam bakes and things that are experience-based where they're outdoors and they're on the beach and we set up tables and all sorts of things. Again, driving that experience. Experiential hospitality has massive margins, massive opportunity, tons of demand, and not very many people doing it. So get creative and create this designed experience that's immersive, that's curated, that's personalized for your guest. I touched on some of the things that we do, but basically you want to have interactive experiences, you want to have curated experiences. Not everybody's going to do them, but just because not everybody does them doesn't mean that you shouldn't offer them. And you're not pushing and you're not selling. It's literally, we've created an absolutely beautiful brochure of opportunities that people are invited to participate in. And some people say, I'll take A and not B, and I'll take C but not D. Some people say, I'll take the whole thing. We have experiences where people have spent 4 times more on the amenities and the add-ons and the opportunities that we create for them to have these remarkable experiences than they do on the lodging. So it's actually a tremendous business model and opportunity. And in prior videos, I used to call it STR 3.0, where you're creating resort-like opportunities and amenities, but you're doing it in a short-term rental. And now what I'm sharing with you is, I don't think this is an STR anything. I don't think it's 3.0. What I think is this is the next generation of what hospitality looks going forward, where it's personalized and curated and designed and developed for one individual in mind around a certain activity, sport, hobby, preference, like, and avoiding the dislike. Now I'm going to share something that's unique to what it is that we're doing here at Stomp Capital and in our Edge Camp sporting clubs. A lot of what we're doing is around nature and outdoor activity and the pursuit of well-being and adventure and sports and all of that. This could apply to a totally different type of business opportunity, but this is what I know. And so in our particular case, we encourage people to get outside of their comfort zone and go do new things and explore new things. And as best as possible, we make sure that any hazards are explained in advance so that people aren't outside and over their skis and getting injured or in harm's way. But the whole point is, here you are on the Outer Banks. It's absolutely beautiful. Go, play, be safe. Here's what you need to know. Here are the bounds. Don't go past here. But go out there and do this for yourself and like pretend for a minute, like you lived here. That's the whole Airbnb concept in the first place, was like live like a local. I don't know that that's really true today, but if you think about it, that's what we want people to do. And that's what gets people to come back, because as much as we curate and we plan and we design and so on, it's still external influence by Stomp and our team. What the real moments of memory and magic and, true hospitality is when these individuals discover stuff for themselves and with loved ones. So if they're out there kiting together and they have a remarkable day, that's an experience that they can't take away, it can't be taken away from them, and that's shared, and they tell stories, and then they come back and they tell their friends, and then they come back. And so this word of mouth is really, really powerful. And as much as we can try and create those opportunities for those moments of delight, the best ones are when they do it for themselves and wow, staying here and this guidance and this equipment and this instructor, and I went out and I did all of this. That's when the light bulb goes on and they say, this is remarkable and I need to do it again. So do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. What else do you think is important for Next Gen Hospitality as we define this space together and redefine the narrative of what hospitality is? And don't forget, the best is yet to come. We're just getting started, so let's go.